Hello guys, today I am at a Best Buy parking lot about to pick up a certain item that I pre-ordered, and if you read the title for the video then I'm pretty sure you know what it is, so no surprise, and I'll stop beating around the bush. I'm picking up Trolls World Tour in 4K. It's a pretty big day for me. I am of course joking. I'm picking up the Lord of the Rings trilogy on 4K. I'm picking up the Steelbook version, which is why I am picking it up from Best Buy, because I believe it's a Best Buy exclusive, or at least it's the only place that has a Steelbook version that was available. So yeah, pretty big day because these movies have a really big place in my heart, big place in my family's heart, actually. So yeah, I'll get more into that a little bit later. I'm not going to say the whole family, but certain members of my family and we all kind of share some nostalgia over it. And yeah, I can't wait to share that portion with you guys. So yeah, if you were here at the beginning of the video watching it, I don't know why you would just skip ahead. That's very rude. But if you're here, please like the video if you are enjoying it so far, or like it at the end if you've enjoyed the video up to that point, and also hit subscribe if you haven't. If you're new to the channel, thank you for joining me, thank you for watching, and yeah, go ahead and leave a comment down below as well, and let me know how Lord of the Rings has impacted your life, or if you even like Lord of the Rings, if you're my girlfriend who can't even get past the first 30 minutes of the movie. So yeah, to each their own. So yeah, I'm really excited. I know they do curbside pickup, but I kind of want to go inside and check out some of their selection, see if there's maybe some binds in there. There's a specific movie that I want to pick up in 4K, a Steelbook version if they have it, and if they do have it, then I will be happy to talk about that in the video too. If they don't, then I'm just talking about one of the greatest movie trilogies ever to grace this world. So see you guys when I pick it up, and see you guys back at the studio. All right, thanks. Aside from my crazy hair, I have the purchase right here, and that is all you will see until the final reveal. All right, see you guys there. Hello guys, I'm back. Well, that was a little bit of an ordeal. I went to Best Buy. Obviously you guys saw me there in the parking lot acting like a fool, but I'm back with the Lord of the Rings Steelbook in 4K for the whole trilogy, that is, and it is so nice. This is a beautiful looking Steelbook box set. What words? I don't know. Guys, getting my hands on this, it means more to me than pretty much anything in my life right now. Getting my hands on the 4K version of this movie trilogy is so special to me because, as you guys might know, I am a Lord of the Rings fan as much as I am a Star Wars fan. And I will even say, and please don't hurt me, but I might even say that the Lord of the Rings is better? In terms of it being a trilogy, in terms of each movie being consistently good and ending very, very satisfying for everyone. As much as everyone likes to shit on how Return of the King has like 3 different endings, I don't care. I don't care, because that movie worked for me, and Two Towers is my favorite movie of the trilogy, but I'll save those comments for later. Probably not even later, probably for a different video in the future. I'm just so happy to have these movies all together in one box set, because I did own the DVD extended edition for these, the special edition, extended edition for the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I grew up on those. I know I might have just committed slander by saying that Lord of the Rings for me is better than Star Wars in terms of it being a trilogy, but I will stand behind that, and I also will say that Star Wars is definitely one of my favorite trilogies ever. It's definitely second to Lord of the Rings. I will even say it's a close second. It's pretty much right up there. But for me, this was my Star Wars growing up. When Fellowship of the Ring came out, I remember watching that cave troll scene and my mind was being blown. I was in the mines of Moria, I was running for my life, I was a kid, I didn't know what was going on. All I knew was that this little short kid needed to get the ring into a volcano, and I knew that I was in. I was locked in. When he said, "You have my axe," I was like, "You have my ass." I was inside the world that J.R.R. Tolkien created, and I didn't want to leave. And ever since then, I was locked into that universe. And then I watched Star Wars, the original trilogy, because I grew up with the prequel trilogy, and that was kind of my idea of Star Wars. But then later on, I was introduced to the original trilogy when I rented some VHS tapes, and I was like, what is so great about this original trilogy? All I know is the prequel trilogy, and that is the only trilogy that exists. Then I watched it, and my mind was blown. So yes, I love both of these movies' trilogies almost equally, but I will say that Lord of the Rings pushes Star Wars out just a smidge, just because Return of the Jedi just doesn't meet all the expectations it needs, and Return of the King, the superior Return of, just is better all around. I don't care if there's 3 different endings, like I said, I don't care, it worked for me. Now that I've leveled that out for everyone out there who's about to click dislike on this video, I completely understand if you do, but it's just a personal preference. I thought I'd just get that out of the way, just because I know that it would be a question that would come up because I've talked about Star Wars so much in the past, and I've never really talked about Lord of the Rings as much, and it's because it's a lot of ground to cover, and it's a lot of my childhood in there, and I can't help but have my personal feelings get in the way of actual critique and actual review, and I don't want to just be a review channel. So personal feelings totally in the front. I'm going to say that this is going to be completely biased and completely nostalgia driven review or kind of overview of my experience with Lord of the Rings, not a direct review. So growing up, I watched the extended editions with my sisters and my cousins, and we watched those things till our eyes bled. We were obsessed with those movies, as much as we were obsessed with rewatching the Sorcerer's Stone tape over and over again until that thing went, I don't know where it is, but I'm sure it's in no condition to be watched again. But man, we worship these movies so much. We would exchange kind of our trade secrets in terms of where the hidden Easter eggs were in the bonus features of the extended editions, and we always got so excited with whatever things that our cousins found or whatever we found that we could share with our cousins, and then we would come over, sleep over, and I don't think it was as late as we thought it was, but it was pretty late for us back in the day. But we would stay up very late and we would watch these interviews over and over again. We'd watch the behind the scenes footage. We'd watch the making of all these giant sets that they made for the Fellowship of the Ring or the Two Towers, and we would just be enthralled by it. We just couldn't keep our eyes off of it. And to this day, I think it's just an experience that we can all look back on and smile and just kind of relish in that nostalgia. And I mean, it still holds up today, obviously, but if you didn't grow up on it, I completely understand why you might dismiss the Lord of the Rings or even Star Wars. If you didn't grow up on these movies, it's very hard to just dive right in. And I'm fortunate to know some people that have dove into these movies a little bit later in their lives, and they did grow an appreciation for it. I also know a lot of people that leave comments on YouTube under the clips for the Lord of the Rings movies, and they say like, oh man, I'm so glad I found these movies. I'm so glad I found them this late in my life. And it's just a movie trilogy that no matter what age you are, no matter what demographic you are, I think it will find you in some way, and I think it will connect with you in some way if you give it a chance. And if you were lucky like me to have grown up with these movies, then there's no way you can ever separate that from your childhood and separate that from your growth and development. All that being said about this experience that I shared with my cousins and my sisters growing up, I'll kind of get into what the movie kind of taught me overall. And like I said, this is going to be an in-depth review of the movie itself, and it's also not going to be an in-depth review of the features for the 4K releases. So if you guys want a video on that, that's very in-depth. There was a video made by Jeff from Films at Home. I'll leave a link down below. He goes very in-depth with the 4K releases, and he talks about all the features that comes with these 4K releases. So if you want to watch that, go ahead. I highly suggest you do, because he is great at covering the grounds. I am not that kind of channel. I don't go into the details of the technicalities behind everything because I don't know that much. I'm more of a how does it make me feel kind of person. So if you're wanting something like that, link down below. I'm running on a lot of coffee right now, so I'm talking very fast. So anyways, let's just change up the scenery over here real quick. Isn't that better? All right. This movie trilogy, like many other people out there, taught me a lesson on what it means to be an ally, what it means to be a friend, and what it's like to overcome an impossible obstacle. This was truly the most impossible mission before Mission Impossible even existed. J.R.R. Tolkien created a world that was so immersive, and when Peter Jackson had the monumental task of adapting his books onto screen, what he created was not only just a series of movies, but he created a completely new experience. I mean, these movies, if you just look at the production on them, and if you look at the bonus features, which will be on these extended editions, you just see the amount of work and how meticulous it is and how amazing the casting is for this movie, or for these movies. And you go into that level of detail, and you can't help but just find a new level of just appreciation for these movies. And I think that's what made it so immersive and made my love for film so strong back in the day, is just watching these bonus features. And I realized we were watching these bonus features more than we were actually watching the actual movie. Of course, we would watch the movie repeatedly because we loved the movie. When we learned about how the Ents were created, when we learned about Dominic Monaghan sitting on these little bicycle seats that hurt, like those little things, we carry those memories with us to this day, or at least I do. And I can't help but watch the movie now and just think, oh, I know what went behind making that movie. Wow, it's truly just magical. And I mean, making a movie is magic. As much as magic exists in the world of Lord of the Rings, magic exists on the screen. I mean, getting a movie made is magic. And getting all these moving pieces to come together to make one image on a screen and then multiply that image over 24 frames per second, it's incredible. I mean, if it's the Hobbit trilogy, then you're at like, what was it, 120 frames per second or something like that, something ridiculous. But yeah, getting that all together, it's an incredible feat. But learning that as a kid is a very educational experience, and watching those with my cousins and just knowing that we were all locked into the same thing, locked in the same experience, that educational experience of what goes behind a movie, and also having my sister Daisha, who read the books and giving that extra context behind some of the things that happened in the movie and some of the things that were cut out, but also included in the extended edition, but not the standard edition that we saw in theaters. It was just this overall just, I don't know, what do you call it? What do you call it? Osmosis of information, which created this whole experience. And I know I'm sounding very pretentious right now, but I'm trying to come up with big words so I sound impressive. But all that together just kind of lent to why these movies are so special to me, and why it helped me feel like I had a deeper connection with my siblings, with my cousins, with my family, and why I feel like I have the need to go door to door and promote this movie trilogy like I'm a Jehovah's Witness or something. It's like, have you heard the good word? You should. It's an experience that I wish I could recapture. I can't think of another movie trilogy or even another movie period that has matched the experience that I had watching these movies. And that's the thing. It's very hard to match that experience that you have as a kid, because you're feeling all types of new things. Not only am I learning more stuff about my but I'm also learning more stuff about what I like, what I want in a movie. And yeah, it hasn't come close to Lord of the Rings. I will say Avengers Endgame, while being incredible, it just doesn't hold a candle to that, because I don't know, maybe it's the chemicals that were running in my brain for the first time. But since then, maybe I've become a little jaded. Maybe that's it. But yeah, I am still waiting for that experience to resonate with me once more. But it's just going to be chasing that magic dragon, chasing that high that it will probably never come. That was my experience with Lord of the Rings. Also, I could have grabbed the Hobbit trilogy, and I think I mentioned it in the video in the intro, but if I didn't grab the Hobbit trilogy just because I wanted those to kind of drop down in price point, just because I didn't love those movies as much as I wanted to. And by that, I mean I didn't like them. I remember I watched it with my buddy, who is a way bigger Lord of the Rings fan. I mean, he's created a whole business around that kind of aesthetic. But I remember watching that with him, and I think we both were just kind of like, it didn't need to be this doesn't need to be 3 movies. And I still feel that way. And maybe I have some bias because I read the book, but even reading the book as a kid, you're like, this doesn't need to be 3 movies. So yeah, overall, I'm just gonna wait for the price point for the 4K releases for those movies to drop down. But until then, I'm very happy owning these, and I know the collector's edition is going to be dropped in June or July of 2021. So guys, look out for those. Grab your hands on those if you can. I know they're probably gonna sell out. I probably won't even get them myself, just because I know that immediately when the date is released and the pre-order is available, it's gonna be like the PS5. It's just gonna disappear. So until then, try to grab these, try to get these as a gift for yourself or a gift for someone else who's a fan of Lord of the Rings or who wants to start watching these movies. Might as well be in the best format available. So get that before Christmas. I don't know if they're still available to order. I did pre-order these around about a week ago, and I actually pre-ordered the box set for them, not steelbook sets, but I ordered the regular box set for these movies about a couple months ago, and I had them in my Amazon cart, and they were ready to be shipped out, but I canceled that because I wanted to get the steelbook version just because I like the aesthetic overall. But yeah, I'm really happy that I have them. I'm happy that I could share my experience with you guys. I could definitely talk more about these movies, but this is just kind of off the dome, just me spitting just my feelings and getting all giddy about something that I just really love. These movies mean a lot to me, and they mean a lot to a lot of the people that I knew and that I grew up with, and I know that these movies, as they should be experienced in the best format possible. Overall, I'm incredibly happy that Peter Jackson collaborated with people that got these 4K releases done. I remember when Sean Astin announced that these were going to be released, the whole internet was going crazy in terms of just everyone who is a cinephile or just a lover of the world of J.R.R. Tolkien. It's just, like people were like, no way, this is actually happening, and now it's here, and it's been a long journey. I'm so happy to have shared this with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video overall. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you can. Leave a comment down below and talk about how Lord of the Rings impacted your life, or how you found Lord of the Rings maybe later in your life and you decided that, you are a fan. For these movies, what else can be said that hasn't been said already? I really appreciate you guys being patient through me just gushing about these movies and how much I love them. I haven't been able to watch them because obviously, look, it's still in the packaging, but I just wanted to talk about my experience with these movies and how excited and happy I am to have them. So if that's not what you're looking for in a video, I'm sorry I bored you to tears. And as always, I will see you later.